crowd bustled on the university campus, voices blending into a lively hum of energy. Among them, he stood still, clutching his bag and scanning the unfamiliar faces around him. This was supposed to be a fresh start, a chance to leave his past behind. But even in this sea of strangers, he couldn't shake the sense of loneliness that had shadowed him for so long. Just then, a flash of bright blonde hair caught his attention. A girl, elegant and confident, strolled through the crowd, her presence demanding attention. She was laughing, her voice clear and mesmerizing. But who was she, and why did she make his heart skip a beat? The first time he spoke to her was almost by accident. He had just finished fumbling his way through an orientation event when she approached him, her radiant smile disarming his nerves. She introduced herself casually, as though she hadn't just lit up his world. She was everything he wasn't. Bold, charming, and unafraid to express herself. Despite her confident exterior, there was something in her eyes, a flicker of vulnerability that hinted at a deep, why would someone so dazzling even notice him? Was there something about him that she saw? Or was he just another face in the crowd? Their paths began crossing more often, almost as if fate were weaving their stories together. She was vibrant and full of life, dragging him into her whirlwind world of spontaneous adventures and heartfelt conversations. But it wasn't all lighthearted. In quiet moments when her laughter faded, he caught glimpses of her struggles, silent battles she kept hidden from everyone else. He wanted to understand her, to be someone she could lean on, but the walls she built around her heart were hard to breach. Was he ready to dive into her world, knowing it might bring more questions than answers? As he tried to move forward, the weight of his own past bore down on him. Memories of a life he'd left behind resurfaced, uninvited and relentless. There was someone he'd cared for deeply, someone he couldn't forget. That someone had been his entire world once, and their absence had left a scar that refused to heal. Every step he took toward this new beginning seemed haunted by echoes of what could have been. Could he truly open his heart to someone new while still tethered to a love that no longer existed? As much as she captivated him, he couldn't ignore the contradictions in her behavior. One moment, she was warm and inviting, the next, distant and guarded. It was as if she wanted him close but feared letting him in. He began to notice the way she avoided certain topics, or how her smile faltered when someone mentioned family or the future. Was her confident facade hiding a secret pain? If he could find the courage to share his own story, would it encourage her to do the same? Or would exposing his vulnerability only push her further away? The more time he spent with her, the more he realized how different they were. She was a force of nature, unyielding and unpredictable, while he struggled to find his footing in her vibrant orbit. Yet despite their differences, an undeniable bond began to form, a connection that felt both exhilarating and terrifying. But bonds like these were delicate, easily fractured by misunderstandings and unspoken truths. And when a misunderstanding arose, it felt like the ground beneath them was crumbling. Was this the beginning of the end, or just another hurdle to overcome? Their fragile connection was further tested when someone from his past resurfaced, a reminder of the life he had tried so hard to leave behind. This person brought with them unresolved feelings and a whirlwind of emotions, leaving him torn between the past and the present. Meanwhile, she began to notice his hesitation, the way his gaze lingered on something or someone beyond her reach. She didn't say anything, but the distance between them grew, unspoken but physical. How could he move forward when his heart was divided? One evening, under the golden glow of a street lamp, she finally confronted him. Her voice was steady, but her eyes betrayed the storm of emotions within her. "Do you care about me, or am I just someone to fill the void?" she asked, her words cutting through the silence like a blade. Her question caught him off guard, leaving him speechless. He wanted to say the right thing, to reassure her, but the truth was far more complicated. Did he have the courage to face his own feelings and give her the answer she deserved? In the days that followed, he found himself reflecting on their time together. He thought about her laughter, her kindness, and the way she made him feel alive in ways he hadn't felt in years. But he also thought about the past, the person who had shaped him into who he was today. Could he let go of the past and embrace the present? Or would his fear of losing her push her away forever? As the semester drew to a close, he stood on the edge of a decision that could change everything. She was waiting for him, her expression a mix of hope and uncertainty. He took a step toward her, his heart pounding, knowing that this moment would define their future. But just as he opened his mouth to speak, his phone buzzed, a call from the past he couldn't ignore. He glanced at the screen, then back at her. Her eyes searched his, silently asking a question he wasn't sure he could answer. What would he choose? The past that shaped him, or the future that awaited?